Growing up in Africa, one of my favorite things to do was to go out in the rain and play with no clothes on. But right before the rain starts, there's this phenomenon that always happens. As the first droplets of rain hit the earth, the dirt in that African soil, there's this smell of dirt that just is like a mist. It engulfs the air, letting you know that more rain is to come. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Terre de hermes Eau Intense Vétiver. This here is a very, very special cologne. Well, remember how I told you that there's that smell of earth? It's like a mist that goes into the air. This is a more filtered version. This is like a polished smell of earth right before the rain. It's not very strong. It's well filtered. It smells woody. It's very neat, very clean. It's very confidently masculine. It's not the kind of masculine that screams. It's the kind of masculine that's quiet without trying very hard to be. This cologne is just chilling. This is like the stealth wealth kind of cologne that goes into the restaurant, classily dressed, no noise making, no jewelry, sits down, eats a lunch, and walks right out before anybody can know what happened. This cologne here does not make noise. This cologne is very, very intentional, and because of that, it's a very outstanding cologne. So we're gonna open it up. It's a brand new cologne. I just got it. I haven't done anything with it yet. I haven't opened it up. I haven't used it. It's still in the box. So we're gonna go ahead and see what it's about. So right out of the bottle, this is what it looks like. That's all it comes with. And then you twist it down. So right off the spray, you get this sharp burst of citrus. And I'm not talking about sweet orange. It's more like bitter orange peel, like the back. It smells very fresh. It's a little bit dry, but for the most part, it's very filtered and refined. It doesn't control your nose. It's very easy to inhale. It's not harsh. It's very clean. The key word is refined. Very clean, very refined, very filtered, neat cologne. That's the first impression you get once you spray this and it lingers for a little bit. And once you spray it, you realize real quickly that a little bit after it settles, this cologne kind of takes the center stage. At this moment, it's beginning to engulf the whole room. I could smell it. I can't even smell the previous cologne I was wearing at this point. It has overtaken everything else. It's settled in and it's now possessive of the environment as I can smell it right now. So this is more like, it's very clean. Like I said, refined is the key word. It gives off that vetiver kind of smell. You get to understand that vetiver note starts to stand out after it settles for a little bit and it lingers on your hand or wherever you sprayed. Remember that this perfume is composed of wood, but at the same time, it's smoky, but the kind of dirty smoke. You know, like we know with the smoke that has been in like the soil or something like that, that's the kind of smell that you get after it lingers for a little bit. It's very interesting. Think about something like a freshly cut roots, like when you're doing, like I remember my grandmother would do like a cassava harvesting. So think of when you cut the roots of a cassava or like any plant, the fresh smell that comes once you cut that root. And just think of dirty soil. Its purpose is to be used for the germination of seeds. That kind of smell from that earthy smell note with a mixture of warm air, smoky dirt, that dry soil, that's what you smell. And these are some of the notes that come out of it. It's a very original perfume that is meant to give off a masculine smell for a man. It's very manly, this cologne, but it doesn't try very hard. It possesses the environment, but it's not pushy. It doesn't push you away. It kind of interests you, piques your mind. You wonder, what more can I get from this? What more does it smell like? I wonder if there's a variation of it. It gets you very curious. The rain, the first droplets of rain hit it, and that mist goes into the air with a mixture of the dirt going into the air. So it warms up the air because the soil is hot and the rain is coming down cold in most cases. So it just forms that warm air in the environment. That's what it's like. It's not very cold. It's warm. It's invitational. It brings you in because of the warmth that it gives off. It's very natural and very grounded. It's not oppressive, like I said. It doesn't push you away. It's very welcoming. from it. That's what I get from it so far. As it dries on your hand or wherever you smelled it, it becomes smoother. You start to smell the wood and it smoothens out. It's more of that invitational note. So it's smooth, it's not harsh. You start to lose some of the citrus smell and you start to gain some of the woodier, and the perfume starts to smoothen out. That's what you get. Once it starts to settle, now it's dry, and you're just at that stage where the aroma is just filling the air. Furthermore, there's this sense of salt or a kind of mineral smell. The salty and mineral aspect of the smell gives off that signature that the Terre Hermes perfume with the Vetiver is known for. That's basically something that has been built into the DNA of this cologne, where that once it settles, you start to smell that salty mineral note, which the closest thing I could describe it to is more like when you walk by one of those Jamaican sellers of like body oils, that mineral salty smell that is the base note for composing those oils. That's what you get after it settles down. So, and I believe that's the DNA of this cologne that is being built on, which translates to different variations of this, but it's very, very peculiar to the vetiver. So with that said, this mineral and salty DNA, or this note that it gives off, makes this very classy, very mature, and a very calm perfume to wear. It's more on the mature side, it's more on the classy side, it's very calm, it's not possessive, it does not push you away, it's very welcoming. It gives you this vibe that everything is gonna be okay. It smells good. This is something that you smell on a guy with a suit that just walked in for lunch into a five-star restaurant and he's the CEO of his company. This is something you smell on a guy at a golf course that just left the office and is walking or going over to the golf course to meet friends. This is the perfect cologne, and this is the kind of people you smell this on. I'm not saying it's not for everybody, but this is the thought that comes to your head. That CEO that doesn't want to be possessive but still wants to smell good, and when he paces through the hallway, he leaves the note that he passed by, but it doesn't linger for too long, or even if it lingers, it's not possessive, it's not bothersome, it does not push people away. It invites people, it lets people know of your presence without screaming what type of cologne it is. It just makes your presence aware in a very calm fashion. So this cologne, for the most part, it feels very composed, very confident, very adult. This is something, it's not for kids, it's not for young guys. Young guys will not enjoy this too much unless you're a young guy more on the mature side. You're beginning to blossom into your career, 27, you've got that entry-level job. You're trying to, your job requires you to dress professionally. This would be an amazing startup or starting point. The price point is not bad, but at the same time, I would say this is something that if you're still trying to save money, this is something that has a decent entry point. And for the most part, you could wait. Maybe further down in your career, once you get that C-suite, you get that office space where you're more in management, this would be the perfect graduation, introductory level to that world of cologne that you could put on to make your presence known. And another thing, it's not a club cologne. It's not loud. It's not playful. This is very strict. This is very composed. Like I said, this has like flair. This has maturity to it. It's confident. So it's not playful. It's not something you could wear to the club, but it's not that play cologne. It's not sex in a bottle. It's just for that man that's trying to project confidence. It's masculine without the noise. It's just neat. In other words, another way to explain it is that this is more like, it smells like a quiet authority. You know how someone has authority, but they don't make noise about it? This is that in a bottle. It's very subtle. It stands there, is the boss, but it doesn't say nothing. It doesn't say a word, but it's standing right there. So think of it that way. So when the boss is standing, it's just someone who doesn't need attention, but still get it. Think about the CEO of a company wearing a hat going into, say, production line just to inspect. He's the boss, but he doesn't need the attention. He doesn't make it known. He's just there like every other person trying to interview and oversee and see what is going on with the line of production. He has the attention, but he doesn't need it. This is that in a bottle. So as much as you don't need the attention, you're still gonna get the attention because this right here is just that smooth. So you might ask, what kind of weather is this perfect for? So this is perfect for a daytime weather a cooler weather, if you're going somewhere in the daytime, this is a great cologne. If you're immersing yourself in an office space or in an office environment, this works out great. And if you're going out like in a very cool environment where the weather is a little bit cooler, like I live in Chicago, over here we have cool weather right now, this works great. This works out great if you're looking for a woody perfume and you want it to have presence, but without the, being trendy, being noisy, being loud. This is for that low-key individual that just want to fly under the radar. This is the perfume for you. So the key word to describe it is more like elegant. So how do I compare this to the original Vetiver? Well, if the original one is more woody and more citrusy and more earthy, so this right here is drier, greener, and more vetiver focused. So the vetiver in this is a note that is very pronounced. It's a little bit louder than the original Tres de Hermes. The vetiver version pushes the vetiver note to the forefront. That's the key to look out for. So since it's drier and greener and more vetiver focused, less of the orange smell that the original vetiver is known for and more of that cut root note that is associated with something that is earthy. That's what you get in this scenario. So in summary, the Tres de Hermes Eau Intense Vétiver is a refined, earthy fragrance that is timeless, classy, and smells very natural. That's the best way to summarize this right here in this bottle. Lest I forget, it's also confident and timeless. Thanks for watching. Have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.